if there's one thing I can tell you about The Walking Dead Season 7 premiere is you don't tell Negan to suck your nuts because you know it won't end well. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, zombies? Logan Myers here from Cinephellas.com. And the time is here. Walking Dead is back on AMC. Season 7, Episode 1, returned last night. And if you've not seen this episode, you're probably the 2% of the world that has not. So I'm going to have some spoilers in this review, but if you have not seen it, don't watch this. If you remember last season, the end of Season 6, we were left with a cock block of a cliffhanger with Rick and his group of people being lined up by the Saviors and Negan. With that crack of the bat, you don't know who dies. There's been theories all around the internet for the past 7 months. Who will die? What one person will die? It's been going around. It's Glenn, Abraham, Daryl, everybody. But nobody fucking knew, and that's why they kept the shit so top secret. Social media, they post all the pics of all the cast members with their heads smashed in. And it was posted online all over of who will die, and it built the suspense. Who will die? And finally, we're here on Sunday night, and we find out who dies. Honestly, like I was saying before, my other Walking Dead review, haven't been a huge fan, but I've been invested the past 2 seasons because my favorite villain, Negan, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, which does a phenomenal job in this character, is finally on the show. And, I'm excited to see what he will do. And Rick has a little blood on his cheek, and he gets taken by Negan into the RV, and they drive off and to a land full of zombies. Yes, zombies are still in the show, by the way. I know we haven't seen them in a while, but it's good to show that these walkers are still around and they're still trying to fucking eat us. So Negan takes him on this little hour-long ride and showing, he's in charge of everything. Rick no longer matters. Negan and his saviors are in charge, and they're trying to break him down. And Negan is trying to do everything he can to show Rick that he's not fucking around. And in the event of this ride, Rick's getting these flashbacks before the Negan bashing, and eventually we get to see who dies. A lot of people have been saying it's Daryl, it's Glenn, whatever. But it was Abraham. I guessed it. I figured it was going to be Abraham because he's a tough motherfucker. He's the most punk rock guy in the show. He stands up for what he believes in. He protects his people. And he doesn't like Negan and the Saviors. He said, fuck you. So he gets his head bashed in, as you can imagine. And if you saw the episode, it was pretty brutal. It was pretty brutal. Seeing their heads cave in and just explode with the power of Lucille. And seeing Abraham die, it just was really painful, for me, because I like the character. I thought he was great in the show. And these flashbacks for Rick of what happening during their time with the Saviors and Negan. Daryl's hasn't been really strong in the past few seasons, honestly, in my opinion. His character's been kind of drawn out, no character development. And, he's pissed off. His friend Abraham just got his head bashed in by Negan, and he gets out of line, he fucking slugs Negan right in the face. And it's funny with Negan, he has that comedy behind the sinister look. And, anybody that steps up to him, especially Rick's crew on the line, if they step up to him, they do anything, I will shut that shit down. And it's funny with Negan, he said this repetitively throughout the episode, I will shut that shit down. Anybody steps up to me, gets out of line, I will shut that shit down. And basically what happened. Daryl gets out of line. He's pissed off after Abraham getting his head, beaten in brutally. And Daryl just snaps and fucking punches Negan in the face. It was like, yeah. Finally, Daryl, good boy. Not too long after, one of the biggest heart-wrenching moments of The Walking Dead, the original gangsters of the show that's been there since episode 1, Glenn, gets brutally fucking beaten in. His whole head. He gets hit with a bat with Lucille, and his eyeballs popping out. And he's like, fucking 30 times, and just head is mush. And, you know, myself and everybody else throughout the world is watching this. You're like, oh! Not Glenn. He's a character I didn't really like in the beginning, but his character development, you know, throughout the show was really impressive. And I started to like the character, him and Maggie, you know, and the whole baby situation. But Glenn! Why you do this to me, Glenn? Why you die? You know, and they kept it to the comics, which is also very impressive. They kind of stay away from the comics and do their own thing. But for this instance of the show, the first episode, Glenn actually dies. He dies in the hands of Lucille and Negan. And, you know, I give kudos to Scott Gimple for once for staying true to Robert Kirkman's comics and killing off good old Glenn with a baseball bat. And now Maggie is burying his child, and what is she going to do without Glenn? One, but two important characters in The Walking Dead are gone at the hands of Negan. So he's down to business. He doesn't fucking care. He's in charge, and he wants to make sure they all know that he's in charge. So with this endeavor with Rick and the RV, he basically pushes his limits. He throws an axe out into a yard full of zombies and tells Rick, go find it. Get my axe, bring it back to me. And it was really intense because it was like super foggy and you couldn't really see anything, and Rick's going through all these zombies, and you know, when he's almost going to die, you're thinking, is Rick going to die too? I don't know where they're going with this, but it could happen. But Rick makes it through, and Negan's out the back of the RV with his fucking semi-automatic. He's like capping all these zombies, and he's just pushing Rick. He wants to see this face of despair and just utter fright, knowing that he may or may not live. Negan is a scary guy with his bat and just the way that he fucks with your head. And that's what Jeffrey Dean Morgan does so well in the show. He really fucks with your head as an audience, and he plays his character perfect, from my opinion. And he really messes with Rick. So they make it back to, you know, with the rest of the saviors, and Rick is just like out of his mind. Like, he's frightened. He doesn't know what the fuck to do. He can't beat Negan. So they go back and see Rick's people, the ones that are left, and they're just in shambles. They're, you know, crying. Maggie just looks dead because after her, you know, husband, baby daddy, just got his head brutally beaten in. They're like, what do we do now? But Maggie had balls. She's like, we need to kill him. Everybody else is just distraught. And there was another excellent scene with Rick and Carl. Like, Carl's arm got tied down, and Negan wanted Rick to cut off Carl's arm, and Carl's like, just do it. I mean, this kid's got some balls. And I thought they were going to go the route with Rick from the character where he gets his arm cut off, but they didn't do that. Not yet, at least. Maybe in the future episodes, but it was a game for Negan, showing, you know, these people what he will do to get power. He will make Rick cut off his own son's arm to show that he has power. And that's the overall story. That's the overall message from this episode, is showing that, you know, Negan is down for business. If you fucking kill my men and my people, I will kill you one by one. And that's really what happened. I'm really excited for the upcoming episodes of the show. I'm going to see if they stay true to the comics, because they did with this episode. I want to see what the Kingdom does. I'm really excited to see the Kingdom and their part in this whole story. But overall, the first episode of Walking Dead Season 7 was really spectacular. I enjoyed it. I was, you know, waiting for this moment for the past 7 months, and I was not disappointed. I was surprised they killed off two characters, and I'm surprised they killed off Glenn. So thank you for staying true to that in the comics, and hopefully they'll kill off Daryl eventually. I'm kind of bored of his character, and he's not really an integral part of this storyline. So looking forward to it. Really love the shit out of this episode. I'm giving it a 5 out of 5 hair pieces. But more importantly, what did you guys think? Were you surprised by the death of Glenn? Did you see it coming? Did you predict it? Did you think that Abraham would die? I thought so. So we want to hear from you guys what you thought of it. Are you excited for the rest of the season like us? Let us know in the comments below. And until next time, this is Logan Myers signing out. Cheese!